Greetings and welcome to my grassroots save. I'm Dugout Man and we're the manager currently of Sandbach United. If you see my previous videos, then you will realise that we were top of the league and running out of games, so hopefully we are still looking at promotion. But as you will see, our final game last episode was the home game against Eccleshall. I've played 2 games since then and I will show you the goals from those games. But just as you can see, it's one win and 1 defeat. I was going to show you the game against New Mills because they are obviously the team in second, but I just couldn't get the match to fit with my end of season schedule that I was looking to run. So first of all, we played Sandbach Utd United. So let's get on with the goals. So the first goal was a set piece goal, which we do tend to concede, and then Smith ran through, slotted home. A nice finish there. Then a free kick which Papero volleyed in the rebound, and then a flick on from Knight, and Smith made it 3-1. So then we came to the New Mills match. It was a top of the table clash, and sadly we did relinquish the top spot on goal difference because we failed and we lost 1-0. Jerome Lamb was the scorer. It was a pretty close game, but in exactly the same minute as in the previous game, we conceded and lost 1-0. It was a good game. New Mills probably deserved the win, but there we go. So this is how the league stands with games to go, and New Mills are top of the league on goal difference. I think they probably have a slightly harder running than myself, in that in a couple of games' time they play Abbey Hay at Abbey Hay. So there's a good chance of them dropping points there, and hopefully they will. Or certainly if they don't drop points, still that will make our job a little bit easier because we're 5 points clear of Abbey Hay, and automatic promotion is still very much a possibility. So for our next game, which is an away match against Oswestry Town, we're going to stick with tried and tested partnership up front of Knight and Smith, with Prudo, Atkinson, Shuker and Delacoe as a midfield, Williams, Jenkinson, Paperill and Johnson, and Deitch in goal. Here we go, 2D Classic. That should hopefully stop any stuttering with my computer, which is clearly struggling just lately with running Football Manager. We've still got the highlights to be shown in 3D as Knight powers the ball in from a Prudo cross, and that is in the second minute of the game. A great start, 1-0 against Oswestry Town. Knight actually started a manoeuvre, pulling it back to Shuker, and it's a good header too. So one thing I will say that we need to address maybe at the end of this video is that every man and his dog has been trying to sign every man in my team. So we've actually lost club captain Hogg. He's gone. Campana has decided to stay. Good save by Deitzer. But then there's been bid after bid for virtually every player that I've got. So we could struggle through a decimated team soon. Shuker with a free kick. Paperill, who is one of the players who's possibly outgoing, heads over. But here's Pennell to Hicks. It's definitely highlights of plenty today. Johnson picks up the ball, finds Knight, who flicks it on to Dan Smith, who slots it home, and that is 2-0. I've already kicked a goal out of our scoreline already. Come on, guys, make sure you play like it's 0-0. And that's what they did. Flick on by Knight, and Smith running through. Composure is fantastic as he slots it away. And as we've been saying, Dan Smith has been a perfect replacement for Kaya Smets, and hopefully he'll continue to do well. As we hit the half-hour mark, 2-0 up, I think everything's going swimmingly at the moment, so I don't think we'll need to change anything. New Mills have just scored, so that we're no longer top again. And straight to half-time. Oh no, a dangerous free kick right at the end of the half. Burgess. And it's taken a deflection, I think. It's being classed as the free kick taker's goal, so it must have been one of our players it hit. It did, yeah, and that is a disappointing way to end the half. And I think we need to really warn them not to be complacent. And tactics wise, I think we'll just drop back to a more cautious. And the reason I'm doing that is because we seem to have a habit of conceding in the first minute of the second half. So realistically, what I'm trying to do is stop that happening. So Jenkinson, Smith can't win the ball, but Prudo will, and he crosses it in, and Knight has got another header. It's just unbelievable how this guy has only got 8 for heading, but he just always seems to be there. I say it's a header. I'm watching it in 2D and I forget, but it might actually be a toe poke for all I know. So here it goes, comes in, but it was a header. Lee Knight scores his second of the game, 3-1. So Dan Williams to Smith. Knight is again there. Dare I say it was with a header. Great cross by Dan Williams and a hat-trick for Knight. And 4-1. I think we can be really proud of our efforts, and if we keep winning like this, there's absolutely no question we'll be promoted. And I mean, if results went our way, we could be promoted by the end of this episode. So the next episode will realistically be the final couple of games with no pressure, and obviously our plans for moving forward for next season. But at the moment, 4-1 up. We've got a bit of time left. As soon as this highlight's over, I will look at making some changes. As Dean Atkinson slips in and Shuka, why are we getting Smith through? That's a goal. That's 5-1. Dan Smith with his second of the game. Why are we getting Judder in on 2D as well? I'm just beginning to really worry about my computer and its capabilities of running this Football Manager game. It's been fine until the last couple of days, but it does seem to be juddering a little bit, and I do apologise for that. If the worst comes to the worst, I will get my save onto my gaming PC. The reason I don't play that on there is because it's usually occupied by one of my children, so I can't. So late on in the game, I forgot to make the substitutes because I was babbling on about computers. But late on in the game, it looks like another fantastic result. 5-1 against Oswestry. I'll shoot straight to the next game and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so I bring you back at a bit of a sad time. Daniel Williams has decided to leave us for Sutton Coldfield. He's one of the players who we hope to hang on to. I can't offer them any more money than they're all on, so there's not really any bargaining power for myself. Sutton Coldfield are a bigger side, so it wasn't a surprise to see Williams go. But you will also look down and see that our other left back, known as the left back, is also under scrutiny from other teams. Plenty of other teams looking to sign him. Hopefully we'll hang on to him, but you never know. We could have a left back crisis coming our way soon. Fortunately for us, I remember that Lucky Lou can play in that position if the worst comes to the worst. But yeah, so it's sad to see Williams go, but for the fact that the other left back was moaning about his game time and we wanted him to stay, so we were playing him quite regularly. But he had 11 pace and crossing wasn't great, but generally he did a good job for us and we wish him well in the future. So before we enter into our game and set up the squad team and everything, I just wanted to quickly talk through the league. Today is the day where Abbey Hay play New Mills. Now if New Mills win that game or draw that game, and we win, I believe that Abbey Hay can no longer catch us, which leaves only Camel Laird as the other team who can catch us. We're currently 7 points clear, if I remember correctly, and of both Camel Laird and Abbey Hay. We're in quite a good position. It's quite exciting. Looking at the running, but after this game we'll have an in-depth look at the league. So here's our team selection for today. The ever faithful Smith and Knight up front, with Prudo, Dean Atkinson and Grant and Elliott as the midfield. Going for quite a young midfield there. Lucky Lou is going to have a go at left back. I could have put the left back in that place, but because He's under scrutiny from other clubs, so I thought I'd have a look at Lucky Lou and see how he does in that, with Jenkinson, Pappill and Johnson, and Naylor's having a go in goal as well. So a little bit of rotation as we enter into the match against Stone. Now Stone are playing a very similar tactic to the team we played last time, and so hopefully we'll have the same result where we dominate and win them quite comfortably. But you never can tell with Football Manager and consistency at these lower levels. If you look at the suggestion from Eric Kelly, my assistant manager, it says the team must improve from their last outing. Now, if you're thinking that's our 5-1 victory, we actually played Manchester United under 23s. I think we lost something like 4-2. But we're not going to say that. Certainly not going to say that. Come on, lads. There's a chance of promotion. I think that's definitely one that we want to milk as we go into one of our games that could seal our promotion this season. So an early highlight, 2 minutes in. It looks at the moment like it's going to Stone in the white. Bennett on the wing. Switches to the other wing, but Prudo beats him to it. But Wood now brings the ball back forward. Every player bar one is in our half. And Folks and Garner and Cook, they're passing it around well. But if they lose it, we'll be waiting to pounce on that counter-attack. They're playing a very high line, which is very dangerous. And there it is, Dean Atkinson has nipped in. He's got acres of space to run into, and he's slotted it just wide of the post. It was a good opportunity there. And here we go again. Jenkinson, Prudo, Dean Atkinson finds Smith, who is clean through. I don't know if he's onside or not, but the keeper's made a fantastic save. We've got a corner. So I'm going to get the latest scores up so that we can see what's happening in the other games. It may get in the way a little bit, but at the moment it's 0-0 between New Mills and Abbey Hay. Dan Smith racing through. Can he square the ball across? No, it's a good. I thought it was a good tackle, but it's actually been given as a penalty. So I think it's Lee Knight who's going to take the penalty. Yes, it is. And he slotted it wide again. Oh my word, we've had chances already in this game. It could be beyond Stone already, but we're just not putting the ball in the back of the net. So I'm just going to pause it, give a quick shout, demand a little bit more. I don't know whether that's the right thing to say, but it seems to have focused the team. And we've not been very dominant on the wings, which is a surprise to me. I thought they would have a lot of space on the wings with the distance between the full-backs and the attacking midfielders. We've taken a free kick, we've lost the ball. Cook is bringing it forward. Prudo wins it back. Lucky Lou plays the ball forward. Smith wins a header. Atkinson plays it back to Smith, who is through. And Jackman makes another save. New Mills have taken the lead, I've just noticed, against Abbey Hay, which helps us in some ways. And Camel Laird are not winning at the moment, but Lucky Lou has picked up a yellow card. That's not very helpful. So that's half time, and it's 0-0 between us and Stone. I would like to think that we're not about to bottle it. If we look at the latest scores, Abbey Hay are losing at home to New Mills. I mean, a draw there would be the best result that we could ask for, really. And Camel Laird are currently level with Ellesmere Rangers. So at the moment, results are going pretty much our way, except for our own, of course. So I'm going to try and encourage them. I believe that they have what it takes to win this game. And I think we'll try be a little bit more positive as well. So the highlights are drifting away. We have one now. It isn't going to us. I'm not absolutely sure what happened there. It looked like it went into me, but somehow it has come back out again, and there's no goal. And we're going to look at making a few subs. So Lee Knight's having a terrible game, so we'll certainly look at taking him off. Jordan Elliott's not producing for us. Let's give Chris Shuker a go on that wing. And at the moment, we're not going to take Lucky Lou off as much as I need to. We're not going to use all 3 subs together. But time is beginning to tick away, and we could really do with a goal sooner rather than later. Here's Shuker at the back post. Plays it out to Johnson. Grant picks it up. Jenkinson, Prudo on the wing, gives it back to Jenkinson, who lays it straight through the middle to Smith. I was about to say he can't miss, but somehow he has managed to kick it straight at the keeper. And we very nearly concede a goal ourselves then. So Garner for them has picked up an injury. Grant picks up the ball. Plays it to Matty Johnson, Michael Johnson, Matty Johnson, I forgot what his name is. Jenkinson, Lucky Lou, Prudo. Skins a player on the wing, and Dean Atkinson, Ray picks it up, but he's run into a wall. Now Martin will bring it out. This is a very long highlight. I suspect there will be something at the end of it, one way or the other. Smith, Dan Smith, and the keeper has kept him out again. So from the corner, still the highlight rolls until I say still the highlight rolls, and then it doesn't roll anymore. Martin comes forward for Stone with Gretton. Things are getting a little bit desperate now. We cannot afford to concede a goal. And Lucky Lou picks it up near the corner flag. Finds Prudo. Prudo to Grant. Ray will flick it on to Smith. Smith will skin his player and will charge forward. And it is cleared again. So time is beginning to tick. We're going to go attacking, and we're going to look at making one final sub. Grant isn't playing particularly well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Delacoe on, and we'll move Shuker into that deep line playmaker role. Delacoe on the wings. We've just got to find one moment of inspiration to win this match, which will almost certainly guarantee us promotion then. Delacoe. Papril. So Naylor hoofs it to the midfield, but they lose out. Gretton picks up the ball. Prudo wins it back. I thought he was going to set Smith off then, but the defender got to the ball. Now Rossman will try and bring it forward. He gives the ball away to Shuker, who gives it to Jenkinson. I'm getting a little bit worried about the pressure that they're beginning to apply with this possession. They do keep giving it away, and we just keep giving it straight back to them. And Rossman has squared the ball across, and somehow they have missed. I think we need to change something here, and I actually think that our directness is letting us down. So we're going to focus down both wings, and we're going to play very attacking because we need the goal. Run at the defence because I think we've got that. We'll hit early crosses, and let's see how that affects our game. Time is running out. 4 minutes of injury time, and we may not even see a highlight. It's looking like a disappointing 0-0. So now it is all dependent on how the other games finish, because I actually completely forgot that I'd put them up. And I know you were keeping an eye on them, but I wasn't, so I haven't got a clue. So we will say it's disappointing. We should have been winning that game. You can see that the players are obviously getting a little bit nervous. They're not expected to get promoted this season. I keep saying it. It's an achievement for us as a team. You know, Sandbach Utd to be sitting pretty 5 points clear with just 3 games left. And sadly, I think we've probably thrown our chance of winning the title. New Mills won 1-0 against Abbey Hay, and Camel Laird won 2-1 against Ellesmere Rangers. So the results went against us. We did get that point, which was important, really. But we can't afford to lose more than one more. We can lose one, but we can't afford to lose 2, really. So what I'll do is we'll move on to the next match, and then that will be it for this episode. So I bring it back just to make an announcement that our best centre-back, Fraser Papril, has left us. Keynsham have come in and stolen him from us. He was without a doubt our best centre back. His pace was okay, his heading, marking, and tackling. He played a lot of games for us, so it was quite disappointing to see him go. But we wish him well, and hopefully it's not come at such a bad time as it costs us. But Ashley Fuller, on the other hand, has decided to stay. Again, he's had many chasing after him. But like I say, it was just a bit sad to see Papril go. He was certainly our key defender. And let's hope that he's not left us in the lurch too much. So welcome back. There's a couple of changes. The left back has come in at left back instead of Lucky Lou, and Ryan Nash has come in at right back. Gill has had to come in centre defence because, of course, Papril has moved on now. Elliott on the right wing, Grant, Dean Atkinson and Prudo, so pretty much all the same across the middle, and Knight and Smith up front. Let's hope that they have a better performance today. We are against Barnton, who were the early pace setters in the league, but they slipped down. They're currently sitting in 5th place. I don't think they're a threat to us. We can have a quick look at the league if you like. We're on 80 points, 5 points ahead of Abbey Hay, of Camel Laird, I beg your pardon. Abbey Hay are currently sat on 72 points, so they are 8 points behind us. If we were to win today, they would not be able to catch us, and if we were to draw today, they would really need a huge swing in the goal difference column to be able to overtake us. So Camel Laird are probably our only rivals, so if they slip up today and we win, then we will be promoted. If we both win, then it will go to the next match, and we just need, really, after today, if we win today, we basically need 1 win out of 2 games to guarantee promotion. We would like to overtake New Mills, but I don't think they have any difficult games left, so they should be realistically winning the league from here. So let's get into the game. So I would like to take the time to thank everybody who has been watching these videos. I hope you're enjoying the content, and I hope maybe I've even been able to help you to learn how to play some of these lower level teams with the counter-attacking football. It seems to have worked well this year. And the ball's crossed into Smith, and Smith has hammered it home. Elliott with the assist, Dan Smith with the goal. Sandbach are leading away to Barnton. I'll tell you what, it feels like we've played more away games this season than ever. There were so many cup games that were away, and yeah, the home games just seem to have been few and far between. So it's a mile onside. I don't know why they're looking at that. So that's half time, and we lead 1-0. Once again, we're in a position where we don't actually. We have a lead, but we've not put the game to bed, and that's been the case pretty much every game for quite some time. We just don't seem to be able to put games beyond teams until the second half, and you never know how that second half is going to go. So we're an hour in, and there's a highlight, so we'll wait and see what happens as a highlight before we start thinking about whether we're going to make any subs. So Knight, Dean Atkinson, Smith, Elliott is running through. There's a good save by the keeper. We now have the corner. As Elliott crosses it in to Smith, to Grant. Grant goes back to the left back. And there's a corner taken there, but there's absolutely nobody challenging for it. So Tunstall brings it out to Jones. The long ball forward, Jenkinson sends it back to Jones. Dean Atkinson picks up the ball in a dangerous area. Plays it to Knight, he plays it to Smith, and David Vaughan, I think it is, with a great save. It might not be David. just seem to make up names these days. Jenkinson, oh, and that's the end of the highlight, apparently. So Vaughan with a long ball forward. Grant slips in. Gill with the long ball. Dean Atkinson finds Smith, who finds the back of the net. That is 2-0. If it stands, it looks like it's going to stand at the moment. That is 22 goals for Dan Smith, which, considering he's only played half a season, is quite incredible. He could well end up our top scorer. He's just a couple of goals, I think, behind Lee Knight. But Lee Knight has played the whole of the season, so it just really shows you how Smith has come in, replaced Kayets-Metz. And between our three strikers, to be fair, key strikers that is, we've managed to have best part of 60 goals, maybe 70 goals between them this season. So I'm really pleased with how we managed to pick strikers up. Bailey Prudhoe has picked up a knock, so we will take him off. I think we'll go with Lucky Lou in that position. So Jay Grant has been struggling again. But I actually want to give Sean Ray a run out. Sean Ray is probably, he was one of my first signings, and he's done really well in the chances that he's been given. But fortunately for him, he's just always had two strikers ahead of him. As Smith has just been poleaxed as he was running clean through. Dan Smith scores the penalty. And I think that Andy Naylor was lucky to get a yellow there. Ray to Elliott to Nash. To Elliott and Grant. Grant plays a long ball, but it was a poor pass. Lucky Lou. Ray. And Pickup is sent through, and Naylor makes a save. So, if any of you have not watched previous episodes, and you're wondering why Lucky Lou is called Lucky Lou, his name is Fortunate Sithole. And when you've got a player playing alongside him called Shuka, it's very easy to have a slip of the tongue. So, to save that being an issue, instead of Fortunate Sithole, we call him Lucky Lou. And Jenkinson. Braithwaite will bring it out and send it forward. The left back, who was called the left back because I can't say his name, Lucky Lou, plays the ball over to Dan Smith. But unfortunately, the save is made. So 2-0 with time running away. Grant, the ball crossed in. Grant will pick it up again. As I just look to see how Camel Laird are doing. Camel Laird are doing very well. So unfortunately, today's not going to be a day where we put them out of reach. Smith with a great ball. I didn't see actually who played the ball, but it was a perfect ball. It's been disallowed for offside. Is it Sean Ray? Yeah, it was Sean Ray who actually put the ball through, but Smith was offside. 10 minutes to go. 3-0 lead. Lucky Lou picks up the ball. In the area, Gill has got a header. Luke Gill has scored. St Martin's have scored against Camel Laird, so there is a slight chance that we could be promoted. Elliott with that pass. Lucky Lou dinks the ball in, and well, I don't know what to say about that goalkeeping, really. Probably the reason why he's in tier 10 is because of goalkeeping like that. As Ray and Smith running onto it. Smith couldn't apply the finish, but we're 4-0 up with a little bit of time to go. We'll go on to defensive, and the only reason for that is because hopefully it'll speed the end of the game up. We've had quite a long episode today, I recognise that, but 3 games plus all the highlights that we showed you. We've got a couple of games to play now for the remainder of the season, as Smith nearly makes it 5 right at the end. But the next episode, hopefully it's going to be a promotion party, and we'll be really disappointed if we fail to get promotion from here. And we'd really like to win the league as well, because you know, the guys have done tremendously well, and then we can start looking to next season where we go up to Tier 9, and I believe we're just in what's called something like the Northwest Premier Division for next season. But there we go, 4-0 against Barnton, and probably our most difficult remaining match. It sees us top of the league, but New Mills have a game in hand, and I'll let you know how they get on with that on the next one. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe, and if you've got any ideas about the juddering in the game, just let me know, and I'll try and address it and get it sorted so that we can watch the games in 3D when we've solved whatever that problem is. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.